Hey everyone, it's Sarah. This is a continuation of my video series on how to use Nearpod. This one's going to focus more on how to create your own or to find your own. Let's get started. With that, another thing I want to show you is if you go to Explore, you can actually find all kinds of Nearpod content. Now, some of them are paid, but let's say that I'm looking for, okay, I want to find a lesson on economics. So I'm going to click on it, and look, they have lessons right here. You can search for them, and they'll tell you whether they're free or paid. Yeah, so here are some free ones, right, about infrastructure, sustainable communities, things like that, that you could, instead of having to make your own, that you can use. But for now, I want to show you how to create a Nearpod. So let's do create your own lesson. Okay, the first thing you can do that is awesome is you can click upload files and put in a PowerPoint that you have already made. So you don't have to redo everything with Nearpod. If you've been teaching for years, you just upload PowerPoints you already have, and then all you do is pop in activities. So you can do that from, this means that you do it just from your computer. This means you do it from Google Drive. So let's see, what I want to do is I'm going to do a quick search for PowerPoints. Okay, so I want to do one on nouns. So I'm going to click nouns. I'm going to open it, hit open. It's uploading it. And now PowerPoint was successfully added. It's going to process for a little bit, turning those PowerPoint slides into Nearpod slides. All right, and here are all my slides. It's still processing some of them, but what kind of things do I want the students to do? So I have examples of people, places, and things. Well, one thing, let me see my options actually before I even get into that. I can add content. That really means I can just add another slide. You can make slides right on Nearpod, so you don't have to import a PowerPoint. You can make it all from scratch on Nearpod if you don't have one on that topic already. So I can do that. I can add a video from YouTube or from my computer. I can add a slideshow, which was that thing we saw on the adverbs thing where you, oops, sorry, that's my phone, where you slide through it. You can add a virtual field trip. I haven't explored that very much, but maybe we'll do that now on this video. PDFs, 3D objects, all kinds of cool things, simulations, Twitter streams. So this is the kind of content you can add. This is more things that students are going to be passively consuming. So, but this is after I want to do something about people. So let me see my web content is. I can add a website right into my Nearpod if I want to. I don't think I'm going to do that. So instead, I'm going to add an activity. You can make an open-ended question, which you saw in the adverbs one. You can make them match things. You can add in that little multiple choice quiz. There's all sorts of cool options, polls, fill in the blanks. I want them to draw though. So I'm going to hit draw it. The instructions I'm going to give is draw a picture of a person. You can add a reference if you want. If you want there to be a background, you can. So let's say you want them to identify a place on a map. You could actually upload an image on the map and have them draw on it, which is pretty cool. Or you could upload a formula and have them draw and solve it right there. Or you can have them illustrate something. Notice they have, oh, it went away. Hold on. Where'd it go? Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. So, oh, here we go. This symbol is to get little formula symbols, right? You can get. So for math teachers, that's very handy. All right, cool. Let's keep going. So I'm going to add this. By hitting save. Sorry, I'm going to add this by hitting save at the bottom. It's going to show up. All you do is you drag it where you want it. So I want it to go after my people slide. Now let's experiment with, notice also you can convert any of your slides to draw it. So if you wanted people in here to identify, if you wanted your student to identify proper or common nouns, I could click convert to draw it, and I could turn that slide into something students can draw on, which is pretty cool. All right, so I want to add another activity. oh, actually, I want to add content now. So let's add a field trip because I have places on here. So I want students to look at all of these options for places students can go. We'll show you on Student View what this looks like in a moment. I want them to go to Venice. So I'm going to hit done. That field trip is going to show up at the bottom. I want that to go after places. Okay. But what they're going to be able to do is they're going to be able to, they'll have like a 3D view, or not 360-degree view of a place in Venice that they'll be able to move around on their iPad. For things, I want to play with this 3D object thing. They can see 3D objects here. So I'm going to click that. Now, obviously, this is really great for things more than just seeing like nouns and things, but it's really great for showing like concepts that are easier to visualize 3D, right? So different systems in the body, things like that. But I want them to look at a great white shark. I'm going to hit done. Oh, that's really an animal. I'm going to put that after my animal slide. Okay. I'd probably add some quizzes and things in here. Oh, I guess I didn't save the title of my lesson. Submit. Oh. 6th. Oh, there was a presentation, same name, nouns 2. 6th grade, and the subject is English Language Arts. All right, so I am done. I am ready to publish this. So I'm going to hit save and exit. All right, now if I want to launch, I'm going to do the same thing. And let's look at some of those things I just did on the student page. So I'm going to, just like we did last time, I'm going to go to Nearpod on my iPad. Okay, so I'm going to join that lesson. Same thing, I'll put in my name. Let's look back at teacher view. Notice at the bottom, here are all my students, and they're green, which means they're where they are supposed to be. So let's go, I'll show you draw it. So let's go back to the iPad view. This is what it'll look like for them. Because I didn't put in a background, it's just blank. Again, you could have a map, you could have a diagram, you could have a formula, all kinds of things that they'd have to draw on or label. So draw a picture of a person. The student can just draw. They can pick colors. They can even add texts and photos if they want to. So you could even tell them to add a photo from their camera roll of a person. They'll hit submit. And notice, look on my screen. It's going to show up in just a moment. Sometimes drawings take a little second to show up. And there it is. If I think this is a particularly good drawing, I can click on it and hit share, and it will show up on every single student's screen. So if I look back at the student view, there is this very terrible stick figure whose arm seems to be broken in half. All right, so let's go look at some of the other features I talked about though. But if I go to places and I go to that Venice thing, this is what the students see. And what they do is with your finger, you can move all around and take a virtual field trip to Venice. It's pretty neat. So I'm a big fan of that. It's cool. Okay, so there we go. Let's look at that 3D object of an animal that I put in. This is what the students will see. It takes a moment to load, but this is something that they can zoom in, zoom out, play on, right? So if you can find, like a system or a shape or something that you really think students would benefit from having in multiple views, you can easily do that. All right, and that's really all I'm going to show on Nearpod. As you can see, it's a really powerful tool. You can do a lot of things with it. And as always, if you have any questions, please contact me. Thanks.